Hey, today we're going to be changing a vent valve on a 2012 GMC Acadia. All the videos I've been seeing have been the purge solenoid valve. Change that out. Still having I think it's a P0496 something rather. Anyways, everybody. I mean, there's 100 videos of it on Facebook of the purge solenoid valve, but nothing about the vent valve. Got it on Rock Auto. This is what it looks like. Can't tell, it's a simple thing. Rock Auto, I think it was 60 bucks. O'Reilly's, all that, they wanted 140. The biggest pain in the butt is you got to drop the fuel tank. The geniuses at GM decided to put it on top of the gas tank. So, if it's your wife's car, like it is mine, try to have her get rid of all the fuel in it before you drop it. We got about a quarter tank, and see if I can kind of show you in here a little bit. So there's a couple lines you got to disconnect. I'll show more of it once I get ready. What I'm going to do to lower it, since there is fuel, is get a couple ratchet straps, put them up on the frame, and it's a real long fuel tank. It's I'd say about 7-8 foot long. So I'm gonna get ratchet strap on either end. After I disconnect the lines, I'll show you all the lines you need to disconnect. There's other videos on YouTube on how to drop the tank, but after I get the tank lowered, I'll show you which lines, and we'll go from there. All right, so at the front of the gas tank, you have a little skid plate right here. Gonna have to remove this. It is 4 10mm bolts. Got to remove that. You got to disconnect some of the lines that are at the front of the tank. Ended up just using the strap part of the ratchet straps, because you know, come alongs would be best to kind of lower it down. Ratchet straps going to be kind of hard. So the way I tied it, just get yourself a transmission jack if you can, but if you're cheap and lazy like me, I think this will work. But yeah, I'm going to remove this skid plate, and like I said, 10mm bolts, and we'll go from there. So you'll have, sorry, I'm shaking, I had a lot of coffee this morning. You'll have 3 lines. You'll have that little fuel line right there, where on this side. Push those together, pop it up, it'll kind of pop out. This electrical harness right here, undo that, and then another line right there. And I mean, it's pretty easy to probably pop them out. I don't know. After that, I think that's everything on the front. I think there's only 5 or 6 total things on the fuel tank you got to remove. All right, so I am now on the passenger side of the vehicle. Ended up using a kind of a pulley system to lower the tank, not all the way to the ground, but just enough where I can work. The rear, it's got 3. I mean, just get underneath there, you'll see there's an electrical connector for the fuel pump. It's right there at the computer, whatever computer that is. And then you got your fill valve and a little hose. I think it's some type of purge breather line there. Disconnect that. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I just used a little plastic crimper there to kind of cut off the fuel, so I didn't I got a lot of fuel on the ground earlier from the front connection. Anyways, these little fuel tank brackets were kind of a pain in the butt, but like I said, just there's plenty of videos. I'll try to put a link to one of the videos on how to remove the fuel tank in the comment section. So yeah, there is the vent valve. Right behind it, the square, the vent valve is obviously the cylinder. The box there, that's some type of filter, a carbon canister filter, something like that, charcoal canister filter. I'm not replacing that, at least maybe I should have, so I don't have to do this again. But if it's not that purge solenoid valve, it's usually this vent valve, and I'm tired of messing with it. So I will see how to take it off here in just a second. So I got the part off. It's kind of, I can't get underneath there and do it to show you, but there's a tab, so it sits like this here on the passenger side. That walks around. There's a little tab, little bracket
that you kind of got to bend up, get out of the way. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I mean, if you're under there dropping your fuel tank, you're going to be mechanically inclined to figure it out. And then you just trace that hose around. The one that was on there, the one from the factory, I guess, the connector is a little bit different. It's a little bit different than the new one. You kind of got to bend that black tabs back, and if you got a little pick or something like a small flathead screwdriver to get in there and bend those back, it'll just pop off. The new one's got a little snap ring. It's already in there, but essentially you kind of like push it out, pull it in, and then push it on. It's the third one. Here, I'll show you. And you'll be able to trace it. So I'm on the driver's side, and there's 3 hose connections. That's the new one. Definitely make sure you push it all the way on, and then after that's the little tabs you gotta kind of pop up or pop out, and then on the top it'll pop up. But after you make all your connections, definitely give it a tug to make sure it's on there. I actually changed my fuel filters out on my diesel yesterday, and luckily I knew to pull on it, make sure it's seated, because it wasn't, and that would have been bad, spraying diesel everywhere. But like I said, it's not bad. I got maybe an hour into lowering the fuel tank this way, and as you can see, I got a little pulley system right here to keep the fuel tank. But an hour to drop the fuel tank. That was more so of me kind of figuring it out, and 5 minutes change the part, and it'll probably take me hopefully no longer than a half hour. I took apart the canister vent valve just to see what was inside, and it was real dirty, a lot of dust. I actually think the solenoid part of it, Jesus, got bees all over the place. The solenoid part of it failed, or and I hope this fixes it. The connector. So the one I bought, it came with a harness, and actually didn't need it. But to take off the electrical connector, you'll pull that back and then press down on the black tab. Can't really see. Press down on the black tab and then just pull down. And when you put it back on, kind of slide that back in there. It ain't doing it. But like I said, hopefully this fixes it. When I get in there, I'll show you the actual fault code I was getting. But yeah. So this was the fault code I was getting, P0496, evaporative emission system high purge flow. I would get that, and then it would clear, and then I'd get a bank 2 lean or something like that. I think that was P0174. Clear them out. The symptoms, and I should have done this at the beginning of the video, so I apologize. I might edit and put it at the beginning. But anyway, the symptoms I'd get, it would throttle every time the wife would go and get fuel. It would crank up real weird, and it would just sit there and constantly crank, and not actually turn over. But anyways, and it'd rough idle. So let's go ahead and erase. Yep. Let's see if it actually cleared it. No. Oh, fuck. That's actually the best that it's cranked. I'd get real kind of rapid RPMs. I don't know why it's not clearing. I don't know. But either way, I'll that's how you change out the canister vent valve. So yeah, what I figured out was, so I unplugged the OBD scanner and then did the service reset, or you can do a service reset through here. But either way, if you do same thing at the oil change place, turn the key to accessory,
press the gas 3 times all the way to the floor, turn the key off, and then crank it, and go through here, and no codes. Like I said, it's running great. I think this fixed it. It should, and I'll be glad if it did. As you can see, there's a lot of gas. That fuel tank was kind of heavy. Getting it back up wasn't a bad deal. I had my wife out here kind of holding the straps that I had as I just used my body to lift it up. With a quarter tank, I mean, it wasn't that heavy. So yeah, just be careful, and I hope this video helps you out, because I haven't found a single one about it. Thanks.